Tom hurried into the office, late for a Monday morning meeting. He checked his watch. 9:03 a.m. Just enough time to grab coffee and sit. But something felt off. The hallway stretched endlessly, cubicles lining each side. He passed a coworker. Tom. "Hey, Sarah." "Morning." The figure turned slowly, face blank, eyes hollow. Coworker, whispering. "You shouldn't be here." Tom blinked, shook his head. Must be tired. He walked on, but the corridor twisted unnaturally. Each turn looked the same. The office map made no sense. Tom, muttering, "Where is HR? Or anyone?" Every desk he passed held papers with names he didn't recognize, phones ringing silently. He reached a corner, took a right, and ended up back at the same hallway he'd just passed. Something was wrong. The office wasn't ending, and Tom had the growing sense that the cubicles themselves were watching. Tom wandered through the endless cubicles, trying to find HR. Every corner looked identical. Every desk had the same beige monitors. He saw a familiar face. "Tom. Hey Mark, did you finish the Wilson report?" The figure turned slowly, eyes blank, expression frozen. Mark, whispering, "Tom, you're not supposed to be here." Tom blinked. I'm just trying to get to HR." But the corridor behind Mark stretched infinitely, twisting in ways Tom didn't remember. He tried to move around him. The coworker stayed in his path, silently, unmoving. Tom, under his breath, This isn't right." Every office object seemed slightly distorted. Monitors flickering, papers with wrong names. The fluorescent lights flickered overhead, casting shadows that didn't match the shapes of the cubicles. Tom realized the office wasn't normal. Every familiar face was wrong, every corner unfamiliar. And something deep in the maze was waiting, watching, patient. Tom finally reached what he thought was his desk. But it wasn't. Papers were scattered across the surface, emails open from people he didn't know, and the nameplate read, "Desk 47, unassigned." Tom, muttering, "This isn't my desk. What the hell?" He tried to log in. The system froze. Then a spreadsheet appeared on its own, filled with numbers and names he didn't recognize. Every attempt to close it returned it to the screen. Tom. "Okay, seriously, I must be dreaming." He glanced around the office. The cubicle walls seemed to shift as he moved, corners appearing where none existed, passages closing silently behind him. Every desk he passed mirrored his own. Stacks of files, ringing phones, unread messages. Nothing was normal. Tom's panic grew. The office wasn't just confusing. It was alive, watching. And somewhere deep in the labyrinth, the real Desk 47 waited. Or maybe it never existed at all. Tom kept walking through the endless cubicles, hoping to find a familiar landmark. Then he noticed them. Clocks on every wall, each ticking differently. Minutes stretched into hours in his mind. Tom, muttering, "It's just a weird office joke, right?" He glanced at his own watch. It read 9:15 a.m. He turned to a wall clock, 12:47 p.m. He spun to another, 3:03 a.m. His head swam. Time had no rules here. Tom. What is happening to this place? He tried to retrace his steps. Every corridor led him back to the same spot. Even the clocks seemed to mock him, their hands spinning like they were alive. The office was no longer a building. It was a labyrinth of endless corridors, shifting walls, and warped time. Tom realized he wasn't just lost in cubicles. He was lost in the flow of reality itself. Tom's footsteps echoed through the identical cubicles. Every turn led to more confusion. Then he heard it. Soft, almost imperceptible whispers drifting from the vents above. Tom, nervously. "Hello? Is someone there?" No answer. Only the whispers repeated, growing slightly louder. He ran toward the stairwell, hoping for escape, but it led him back to another identical row of cubicles. Tom. This isn't possible. I've been here before." The whispers seemed to echo his own thoughts, mocking him. Keep walking. Keep walking. You'll never leave. He spun around, heart pounding, but the hallway stretched endlessly. Every cubicle seemed to stare, every monitor flickered with static. Tom realized the office was alive, the cubicles a maze that responded to his fear. Every whisper, every shadow was a warning, or a trap. And somewhere in the labyrinth, the exit he sought didn't exist. Tom stumbled into a conference room, hoping for a familiar face or a sign of normalcy. Instead, the room was filled with coworkers sitting silently, staring at the projector. Tom. Morning, everyone? Meeting, right? No one reacted. Their eyes were vacant, their lips moving slightly, whispering something he couldn't hear. He stepped closer, trying to see the slides. They made no sense, charts looping endlessly, numbers that didn't exist, pie charts with impossible decimals. Tom, whispering to himself, "What is this?" He tried to leave, but the door led him back to the same hallway. Every time he opened it, the meeting continued as if nothing had changed. Time had no meaning. The conference room wasn't a room anymore. It was a trap. Each slide, each vacant stare reminded him the office was alive, and he was part of its endless ritual. Desperate for escape, Tom found the elevator at the end of the hall. He pressed ground floor and held his breath. The doors closed with a metallic sigh, then opened again. He stepped out, into the same endless cubicles. Tom panicked. No, this can't be real. He tried again. Roof. The doors opened, same cubicles, same empty desks. The fluorescent lights flickered overhead, casting long, shifting shadows. Tom, whispering, trembling. I'm trapped in this maze. A faint whisper drifted from the vent above. Voice. Going up or down, doesn't matter. Every attempt to leave led him back to the same place. The elevator had no destination. The floors didn't exist. The office wasn't just a building. It was a labyrinth designed to disorient, to consume. And no matter how far he pressed the buttons, Tom realized he was already lost. Tom turned a corner and froze. There, between the endless rows of cubicles, stood a dark figure. Tom, nervously. Who's there? The figure didn't move, just a silhouette, faceless, yet somehow familiar. He recognized the posture, the tie, the way it held the folder in its hands. Tom, muttering, "It can't be. It's Mark." The shadow shifted, almost gliding toward him, yet he felt frozen. Every step Tom tried to take led him back to Cubicle 9, the same one he'd passed moments ago. Tom panicked, whispering, I can't leave." The silhouette extended a hand toward him. A whisper echoed through the cubicles. Voice. You belong here, with the maze. The office was alive, and the shadow was its guardian. It moved with him, mirrored his fear, mocked his desperation. The labyrinth wasn't just endless. It had a will of its own, and Cubicle 9 was its heart. Tom stumbled into a corner of the office he didn't recognize. Mirrors covered every wall, reflecting endless cubicles. And himself. He looked closer. His reflection moved, but not exactly like him. Hands twitching, head turning at impossible angles, eyes hollow. Tom, shaken. This isn't me. Every reflection whispered at once, overlapping voices. Reflections, soft, eerie. You'll never leave. You'll never leave. He backed away, but the mirrors stretched endlessly. Each exit he tried to reach reflected another version of himself, panicked, trapped, screaming silently. Tom, whispering, trembling, I can't escape. A faint shadow flickered behind him in the mirrors, moving closer, slower, inevitable. The office wasn't just a maze. It was a prison of reflections, feeding on fear, mocking hope. Tom realized the labyrinth was alive. It had twisted his own image against him, turning familiarity into terror. Tom's chest heaved. Mirrors, shadows, endless cubicles. Gone. He blinked. Sunlight streamed through the windows. Coffee mugs and scattered papers sat normally on desks. Tom, confused, whispering, "Wait, was any of that real?" He looked around. Co-workers chatted, phones rang, printers hummed. Everything was normal. The conference room doors opened easily. The stairwell led down without twisting endlessly. Tom, breathing heavily. It was a dream. He rubbed his eyes, trying to shake the lingering sense of dread. Yet something felt different. Cubicle 9, at the far corner, seemed slightly darker. A shadow flickered across his peripheral vision. The maze, the whispers, the endless reflections, gone. But Tom couldn't shake the feeling that the office had left a mark, that the labyrinth wasn't finished with him. He straightened his tie, took a deep breath, and tried to focus on his report. The day shift had begun, and the office felt just a little too quiet.